I'm 31 years old today, becoming an old man. And I'm here in Winnipeg in Canada, and this is actually where I'm from. My family is half Canadian, so I come back here every few years to visit my family and get some cool 360 shots. I'm here in a Assiniboine forest right now, and I've taken some really epic 360 photos here before. So I'm going to try and replicate one of my best 360 photos I've ever taken in this forest right here, right now, with my Insta360 1R. The number one question I ask myself when I get to a new location is, where is the point of symmetry? Where is the exact middle of this location? Because often that's where the best spot for 360 is going to be. So in this forest here, we have thousands of cool looking dead trees. So it's going to be pretty symmetrical wherever you go. However, some trees are more symmetrical than others. So I want to find the straightest trees that are also the most densely packed. Once you've found the point of symmetry, next you need to decide on the camera height. Is it best putting the camera on the ground? Is it better at eye level, or should you hold it above your head? Well, this will depend on what is around you. If all the interesting details are up, it's a better idea to have the camera down. If the details are down, it's better to have the camera up. Finally, I'll decide on the camera settings. How good or bad is the light? Do I need to do a lot, or is auto exposure mode going to be okay? In bright daylight like this, most modes of most cameras are going to do a fine job. But if the lighting is tricky, if it's too contrasty, too dark, too light, that's when you want to go into manual mode. Most of the time, I shoot in HDR mode because you're never going to have a perfectly consistent image and location. Here we have a bit of shadow, a bit of light, and it's going to be like that in most situations. Even if the sun is overhead, there's going to be some shadowy areas. So most of the time, HDR is a reliable setting to use. Then when I want some kind of stylized effect, say I want a silhouette in the middle of the day, that's when I'll go into manual mode and manually set the shutter speed of the camera so I can get a cool looking effect that looks different to every other kind of 360 photo you might have taken that day. Another thing I'm always thinking when shooting 360 shots is, how can I give this photo or video a wow factor? Attention spans are this short, so you need to make sure your photo is as engaging as possible. There needs to be interesting stuff in all directions, and not just interesting, but really interesting. So you always need to look around your environment and make sure you find the number one best spot within it. Here I found a pretty cool spot. I'm inside a massive bird enclosure inside this zoo, but there are hundreds of spots I could potentially shoot 360 photos from. So it's important I try out shots in at least 3 places. So what I'm doing here is purposely lining up the lens with the level of the water, because I know that will make for a really interesting element within the 360 photo. Okay, I admit it, I love birds. I'm not a dog person, I'm not a cat person, I'm a bird person. So this is a pretty cool opportunity to get a shot with my new friend here, Mr. Toucan. Mr. Toucan, meet Kandau Kukam 8K. Hopefully it doesn't scare him, or maybe it will. I think I'll just leave it there and I'll let him get comfortable with it. Look, he's getting really close to the lens. This is exciting. It's gonna be a really good shot. The more often your photos can have a wow factor, the faster your reputation will grow as a photographer. It's better to post 1 really good photo once a week than 7 average photos 7 times a week. So you need to think of it like that. How can I get the best photo possible, and only that? Forget about the rest, throw out all the other photos. You just want the very best, because that's what you'll become known for, and you're not going to become known for 7 out of 10 work and below. It's got to be as close to a 10 out of 10 as you can possibly get. Another important part of getting good 360 shots is waiting for the exact moment to strike. I can see there's going to be a pretty cool moment coming right now with all these seals doing backflips in front of me. So what I need to do is wait until one swims directly in front of the lens, and then I need to be able to capture it as crisply as possible. So I'm going to set my shutter speed really fast. I'm going to shoot in RAW and see what I get. Oh my God, this is so fun. I'm a fully grown 31-year-old man having fun at the zoo on his own, taking 360 photos. That's a bit sad. Often I find some of my best 360 shots I've ever taken have ended up being the silliest. So photos where the camera is really close to my face, or I just look really weird or creepy, or if the camera is in a really unusual position, maybe it's underneath me and I've arched my body over it. Basically, the more playful and silly you can get when shooting 360, the more likely you are to come across a really cool shot. Because the name of the game is entertaining your audience, and if you can make a really silly but fun shot, then you've achieved that. The thing is though, you've got to drop your ego. If you care too much about how you look on camera, then you're not going to be brave enough to try a silly shot like the ones I've got here. It's all about playfulness and curiosity. The more playful and curious you can be when you're taking your 360 photos, the better your photos are likely to turn out, because you've decided to put the camera somewhere the cameras shouldn't be put. And it really evokes a sense of thinking outside the box, and that is what makes photos stand out. You always want to try and make something your audience has never seen before. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. It depends on the situation you're in, depends on the light, depends on the architecture, the landscape, the weather conditions. So there's no guaranteed way of getting a good shot. This is where creativity comes into play, and the more amount of shots you can come up with at any given location, the more likely you are to get an awesome shot every single time. All right, well that's it for today's vid. Hope you had fun. I know I did. This was a good birthday. I'm gonna go find me some fish to eat now, so I'll see you in the next video.